Hello and welcome to another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. Jake and I are back. We got I shouldn't say a lot. I started off with a lot. We got a handful of Brewer games to talk about this week. Only 5 compared to 7 we had last week and 8 the week before. Only 7 games. 5. Wow. Off to a great start. 5 games this week. Sheesh. We're going to have 7 next week. Maybe that's why I keep getting the number 7 stuck in my head. So 5 games this week is what we have for the Brewers, and then we have our Badgers and Washington State recap, as well as previewing the game against Georgia Southern. So we're going to start with the Brewers, but before we jump into our power pairs and underrated performers, I just want to give a couple updates because they have just come in, so I just want to throw these couple updates out before we start talking about power pairs. So the first one is Christian Yelich is going through another pregame of running and hitting and is making progress. Craig Counsell said that he is not ruled out for an at-bat off the bench tonight at this point.
Nice.
So Christian Yelich, basically, if this were the playoffs, he'd be playing.
Love it.
And then the other one is, got 2 more. Got another one. Brewers on-base percentage machine. Mark Canha had an MRI on his wrist today that showed no structural damage. He got a cortisone shot, which he has had in the past. And we'll have to let that work for a few days before he picks up a bat again Friday. So we're basically 2 days away for Mark Canha, so he'll get a couple days off. Yelich is close. And then the other bit of news that we have for tonight's game is Colin Ray will follow Trevor McGill. So the Adam McCalvy is saying that the idea of having an opener is to have your quote-unquote starter face the top of the opposing order one fewer time. So this is actually, and I saw a lot of complaints about this. I'm not going to lie. People being like, why aren't you just using your starter? You're using a high leverage reliever to face, the beginning of a not high leverage situation. So, and Adam McCalvy just perfectly alluded to it. So a guy like Colin Ray or say an Adrian Hauser or a Wade Miley, you use an opener against them. And then let's say the 4 batters come to the plate in the first inning and Trevor McGill gets those 4 batters out. Then you can have Colin Ray potentially pitch into the 6th or even the 7th inning.
True.
So
also, I would like to say something just real small. You cannot win a game in the first inning, but you can lose a game in the first inning. Just like in football, you can't win a game in the first quarter. You can lose a game in the first quarter. Example, look at the Giants and Cowboys game from Sunday night. That game was over in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So Trevor McGill, he was in consideration to be my underrated performer. So I'm just going to touch on Trevor McGill since he's getting a start tonight. Over the last week, he pitched the 7th inning of a 3-run game and the 8th inning of a 3-run game. So what would technically be save situations if it was the 9th, but those 2 innings pitched, no hits, no walks, had 2 strikeouts. Now over his last 10 games, Trevor McGill has brought his ERA from 4.82 down to 3.38.
He's been really good since he came back up.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, he's been basically, I would say, one of the better relievers in the bullpen for the last 2 weeks.
I'd agree.
And he's been getting a little more high leverage work, so I think that's why people are freaking out that he's not pitching in a high leverage situation, but it's still a good way to use him. So, Jake, give me your pitcher first, because we have a little bit of something going on with our power position players, but give me your pitcher first.
All right. So my power pitcher is none other than Corbin Burnes. We will get into the game, and yes, it was a shitty loss, but 8 innings pitched, 0 hits, and 2 walks. I mean, what else do you need to hear other than those numbers? He had a 0 ERA and a 0.25 WHIP. That is ridiculous.
All right, so mine is Brandon Woodruff. We were at the game on Monday, just a masterclass. Brandon Woodruff, complete game shutout versus a team that is vying for the playoffs. So don't get it twisted because the Marlins aren't currently a playoff team. They are not far behind. Now, getting into our power position players, we did a little something different. We couldn't decide who each were going to take one. We're like, how can we leave guys out? So we decided to not leave guys out. So Jake has 4 guys that he's going to touch on. I have 3 guys that I'm going to touch on. because the 5 games that we're going to talk about today, the Brewers scored 8, 9, 3, 12, 3.
It's pretty damn good when you average it out.
That's 7 runs a game. That's 35 runs in 5 games.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
And their opponents scored 9. So the Brewers outscored their opponents 35-9 in the last week.
Our average runs per game is almost higher than the total runs we gave up.
That's wild.
So I'll just start at the top when I started running. Couldn't make it to 5 guys. Funny guy over there, Taylor. So I picked Mark Canha. This guy has just been hitting the hell out of the baseball lately. 7 for 20, 4 runs, 1 home run, which we saw, 3 RBIs, one of which we saw live, and 3 walks. That's a 350 average, a 458 on base percentage, a 500 slug, and a 958 OPS. And he's free, if you forgot.
Yeah, they said I was a fun guy.
So Tyrone Taylor is my next guy. 7 for 21, 4 runs, 1 double, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, only 3 strikeouts for Tyrone Taylor. That guy used to have 3 strikeout games consistently.
Yeah, that's fair.
And 1 stolen base. That's a 333 average, a 333 on base percentage, a 524 slug, and an 857 OPS for Tyrone Taylor. He has been a madman for a good month now, I would say. These are my last 2 guys. I got Sal Frelick. We were trying to get Sal.
We tried.
He was a stone cold killer on the field and in the dugout. He's 7 for 26, 3 runs, 1 RBI, 3 base on balls, and he is still the most feared person, in my opinion, at the plate with the bases loaded, because the ball is going in play, as Tyler would say. That's a 269 average, a 345 on base percentage, a 269 slug percentage, and a 614 OPS. I saw a different team do that. All right.
Hey, there's Mike.
What up, Mike? So my last one is Andrew Monasterio, 7 for 22, 3 runs, 3 doubles, 6 RBIs, and 4 walks. The guy has been getting on base. And he's playing multiple positions. He could be in the all-righty lineup, play third base, play second base. He is very useful. That's a 318 average, a 407 on base percentage, a 455 slug, and a 862 OPS. All of these guys are balling, and we still got 3 more.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go. The next one that I have Bryce Terang. Over the last week, he was 5 for 17. That's a 294 batting average. I also drew 2 walks, which gives him a 368 on base percentage. Is very solid work by Bryce Terang. Next to that, William Contreras just had a 20-game on-base streak ended last night. Over the last week, 7 for 22. That's a 318 batting average. Also 2 more walks. Now, this guy was going to be on somebody's list. We knew it. We saw it happen in person. Willy Adames. Willy Adames was 6 for 19 over the last week. That's a 316 batting average. Also added 3 walks, which gave him a 409 on base percentage. And all 6 of his hits were extra base hits.
The guy hits the ball hard.
So that gave him an 842 slugging percentage.
Jesus.
Couple that with his on-base percentage. Over the last week, Willy Adames has a 1.251 OPS.
That's just dumb.
That's absurd.
All of that is dumb.
Major League average is like between 7, 8. If you're really good, it's above 8. And Willie's just over here putting up weeks at 1250.
That's crazy, bro.
All right, Jake, give me your underrated performer.
So I picked him for a couple reasons. One, he's good. So he pitched in 4 games. He got 1 win, had 1 hold. He pitched 3 2/3 innings, had 4 walks, 7 Ks, 0 earned runs, and he has a 1.09 whip. His name is Abner Uribe. The other reason is I love when people are nice to kids. We were at the game on Monday. He was one of the players that responded to the kid in front of us and gave him his autograph. So I know that's going to be a memory for that kid that he's always going to remember. I got to witness it, so that was pretty cool. But Abner Uribe, shout out to you. Awesome.
So my guy just came onto my list last night. I originally was going to use Trevor McGill, but I switched so we could talk about Trevor McGill starting tonight, and I went with Josh Donaldson. We made a post that Josh Donaldson was getting the call up on Monday, and people were like, oh, he's got a 190 batting average. He'll fit right in. Can we just collectively just take the time to just admit that the people in the Brewers front office just might know what they're doing? Just maybe.
I mean, we could stretch that to all sports, really, if you really wanted to. I mean, look at the Packers situation, right? I mean, we moved on from Aaron Rodgers, and not that we wanted him to get hurt, because we absolutely do not play with that stuff. By the way,
not at all.
That is a no on our page.
Yeah,
if you're gonna laugh about that, see you later. We don't care.
That's a ban hammer.
Yeah, goodbye. But we moved on and we went on to a Jordan Love, and this guy is looking fantastic. I mean, all preseason people were hyping him up all over the radio, all over podcasts. Really, really smart football people. And then you go to the Bucks, and they drafted Giannis, and they're building teams around him. And you go to Wisconsin, and we're gonna get into the loss that happened, but then you get back into the Brewers, and it's like, yeah, these guys know what they're doing for sure. I feel like the Brewers, Bucks, Badgers, Packers are all in good hands.
Yeah. Taylor said they have that job for a reason, which is exactly it. That's exactly it.
Maybe
Craig Counsell is in the same like group of category of this guy knows what they're doing. There was a site that posted if every one-run game that teams played in was flipped, what the playoff situation would look like. The Brewers go from first to third in the NL Central. The Padres go from fourth to second in the NL West, which is hilarious to me. But we just admit that people know what they're doing. So Josh Donaldson gets called up, and people are like, oh, he's batting like 1 for 17 in AAA, 3 for 17, whatever he was. And he talked about it in the dugout, that it was basically just a shaking off the rust. He had felt like he's been good to go, like working out alone for like the last 3 weeks, but he couldn't come off the injured list, so he couldn't be working with it. So he was ready to go, just needed some game reps, which he got in AAA, shook off the rust. And now in 2 games, this is just 2 games, Josh Donaldson is 3 for 6 and has drawn 3 walks. He hit a home run. He has 2 RBI. He's scored 2 runs. He has a 500 batting average and a 667 on base percentage in the last 2 days.
There's something to be said for small markets, right? Everybody always thinks that everybody wants to go to a big market team. And obviously Josh Donaldson was in the biggest market that you can be in America. And he was in New York, and he was a Yankee, right? Like that's a massive target on your back. Guy who was a former MVP, playoff performer. I mean, this guy was good when he was at the top of his game.
It was really
good. For him to regress and have to deal with the New York media, that's tough to come back from. So then you come to a place like Milwaukee, smaller market, people that really just love their teams. And I stick up for Wisconsin, obviously, because I'm part of Wisco Fanatics, and I love Wisconsin sports too. But I feel like, for all the times that we pick on people for, not giving the best opinions on sports, I can almost guarantee that all the people that cheer for our teams love their teams. So they're going to love him. They're going to support him mostly. I'm only speaking for about 80% of the people here, but I think this is a perfect place for him to revitalize his career on a team that's really, really close-knit. So that's a great choice by you to pick Josh Donaldson, give him some spotlight. But, yeah, I'm really hoping that he can turn it around. Obviously be good for us, right?
Yeah, and we posted it when we called him up that he had a 672 slugging percentage against left-handed pitching. Monday, the Brewers were starting against a left-handed pitcher. So why not give that guy a shot?
And he got on base a few times, so.
Exactly. Mike being a super nice guy.
I've seen the other side of this guy, so I'll take that
comment. Taylor said, I think that's why he struggled with the Yankees with the amount of stress and pressure. Here he can just play ball. And that's it. He talked about just coming in, trying to give some juice as a team that's on a playoff push. And that's what he's done. So we're going to go to the Yankees series. We're going to start with game 1. We're going to talk through the 3 Yankees games and the first 2 games of the Marlins series. So, Jake, what stood out to you from game 1 against the Yankees?
Well, another big inning, right? But I'm gonna let you cover all the ins and outs when we do the breakdown. I'm really just the cover the stats, and then we both add our little inputs when you do the breakdown, right? So Colin Ray started this one, and Colin Ray is going to pitch again tonight. So we'll get to see more Colin Ray, or as my father-in-law calls him, Jimmy Johnson, because everybody who wears 48 is Jimmy Johnson. So it's just how it works in my household. Colin Ray pitched 4 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. So I mean, honestly, could have been a lot worse. I'll take that from a Colin Ray
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take
every
that.
single time. Give
Yep.
me 4 2/3. Abner Uribe in this one, 1 1/3, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 K. Jake's here just to look pretty. Yep, that's what I try my best to do. That's why I matched the hat with the shirt today, so I can look as pretty as possible.
Oh, I know what that means.
Hey, settle down, settle down. Trevor McGill gave us an inning of 0 hit, 0 earned run, 0 walk, and a K. So, I mean, he's, again, been lights out lately. The unsung hero of this team has been Bryce Wilson. The guy just eats innings. This one, he only had to pitch 1 inning, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk. So, I mean, we got the debut of Vieira in this one. 1 inning, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 1 K. So you get past Colin Ray, we no-hit the Yankees, which was a theme, apparently, in this 3-game series. We also gave up 3 walks, and we had 3 Ks and 4 1/3 when you got past Colin Ray. So that is fantastic stuff. Santana, Adames, Monasterio, Contreras all had RBIs in this one. Monasterio, Santana had 2. Adames had 3, a home run. Adames also had a double, his 20th of the season. Monasterio, his 12th. The Brewers were 7 of 20 with runners in scoring position. They had 20 goddamn at-bats with runners in scoring position.
It's a 350 batting average for those who don't have a calculator within hand's reach.
What the hell?
So the thing with this, and we'll touch on this when we get to the third game, is the Yankees have a good bullpen.
They do.
So we'll touch on it a little bit as the games go, but I'm just going to start by saying that.
Don't they have the best in baseball?
They do have the best in baseball.
Yeah, let's
Context is important, so just put that in your pocket for a couple minutes. So the bottom of the first inning, the Yankees get a leadoff walk, and then challenge a foul ball for Aaron Judge, and the call stands, and the Yankees have no challenges for the rest of the game. I don't think it really came close. Like, I didn't really think there was any plays where they really would have, challenged something and made a big impact. But just the fact that they did that, I mean, you're compromising 8 innings of baseball where you could really need a play overturned for a foul ball in the first inning.
Right? Just because he wanted to stick up for his star.
Yeah. Aaron Judge did still draw a walk on a very close 9th pitch of the inning. Colin Ray follows by getting a 4-pitch strikeout, another 4-pitch strikeout, and a flyout to end the inning. So good work by Colin Ray. Top of the second, Willy Adames had a 1-out hit by pitch. He gets to third on Severino making a play to first base, tried to pick him off. The throw went wide. Willy Adames got all the way to third base. Mark Canha drew a 2-out walk, and those two were stranded. Bottom of the second inning, Colin Ray goes strikeout, double, and then Sal Frelick in his first game at Yankee Stadium makes a catch running into the wall. Runner gets the third on the play, and then another flyout, so Ray ends the inning with no runs. Going to the bottom of the third, Aaron Judge hits a leadoff single. The rookie, Dominguez, follows with a 2-run home run. That dude's going to be a stud.
Yes, he is.
He's going to be really good.
And he's going to be insufferable because of the New York media.
Yeah. Hopefully he's actually like a likable person, and we can just have that, and he can be what he is.
Agreed.
So that made the game 2-0. Yankees, top of the fourth. Carlos Santana led off with a single. Willy Adames with a 1-out home run, tie game to right field of all places.
The shortest right field in history.
and Willy isn't a big opposite field hitter.
No, he's not.
So for Willy to do that and hit an opposite field home run, that's tough. That's good stuff for Willy. That made the game 2-2. Bottom of the fourth was Colin Ray's first 1-2-3 inning and added 2 more strikeouts. So bottom of the fifth inning, Colin Ray gets the first 2 outs, and he was done at 85 pitches. And then we got to see Abner Uribe versus Aaron Judge.
Power
You know what happened at that at-bat?
I don't know. Tell me.
Abner Uribe struck out Aaron Judge the first time he ever faced him.
Yep. Yes, he did.
That's some BD energy right there by Abner Uribe. Bottom of the sixth, Abner Uribe did come back out. Got a walk, a fly out, a stolen base, another walk, a fly out, and then a ground out to strand 2 base runners. So Abner Uribe, a little bit of traffic, but no runs. Top of the seventh. This is where the Brewers kind of broke this one open a little bit. Abner Uribe led off with a double, got to third base on a Christian Yelich ground out, and then William Contreras singled him in. That made the game 3-2. William Contreras stole second base. Does not happen very often, but it does.
He's been doing it a lot more the last couple of weeks.
He just kind of takes some chances. Like, he got a huge jump on this stolen base that he had in this game.
Yeah.
And then a bad throw. Carlos Santana had a single, and then a bad throw home. William Contreras scored on that. Made the game 4-2. Carlos Santana got to second on the throw. And then to third base on a Sal Frelick ground out. And then Willie Adames ripped a hustle double that blooped on the right field line. That made the game 5-2. Bottom of the seventh, Trevor McGill comes in a 3-run game, gets a strikeout. Andre Monasterio makes a nuts play on a bunt attempt to finish a 1-2-3 inning on only 12 pitches for Trevor McGill. Top of the eighth, Mark Canha leads off with a single. Joey Wiemer comes in to run for him, just getting Joey Wiemer some playing time. He gets balked to second base. Bryce Terang, another guy you didn't mention because he didn't have any RBI or anything in this game, but kind of an underrated performer. Bryce Terang was 3 for 5 in this game. Gets to third base on Bryce Terang's single. So the Brewers have first and third, nobody out. Bryce Terang steals second, his 20th stolen base of the season.
Pretty solid.
So for a guy who was sent down to AAA for 3 weeks, for him to come back and still have 20 stolen bases on the season. Andre Monasterio laced a double off the left center wall that made the game 7-2. Willie Contreras had a single that got Andre Monasterio to third. Carlos Santana another single that made the game 8-2. And then bottom of the eighth, Bryce Wilson came in, gave a leadoff walk. Santana made a diving stop, turned a single into a fielder's choice, and then a ground out and a fly out, and did a 15-pitch 8th inning for Bryce Wilson. And then the bottom of the ninth, you mentioned Thiago Vieira, his first time in Major League Baseball since 2019.
Wow.
So he gets a ground out, fly out, and a strikeout, ends the game on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, another 12-pitch inning.
Love to hear it.
So coming into this game, the Yankees, this made them have this was now 12 coming in. So Yankees 12 straight games with a home run. That streak's going to end. Spoiler alert. This was the 19th straight game on base for Mark Canha. Colin Ray did a very good job working the top of the strike zone. Wanted to give him credit for that. And then at one point, the Brewers had gotten 5 straight leadoff batters on base. And you and I talked about this on Monday, is that people cried about the Brewers adding guys who get on base.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is there's only 4 bases. So, this fascination with high RBI guys, you can't drive in runners if there's nobody on base.
I agree. What's up, Isaac? How you doing, buddy?
So the fact is that having guys on base, it increases your chances of scoring. It increases your chances of winning.
Yep.
All right. What stood out to you from the second game against the Yankees?
Everybody wanted to get an RBI in this one. That's what stood out to me. And everybody wanted to pitch as well. So it's going to be a lot of names I'm going to spit out here, so bear with me. So Wade Miley started this game. Brewers ended up winning this one 9-2, by the way. Wade Miley started this one 3 2/3, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 3 Ks. So, After that, Elvis Peguero comes in, 1 1/3, has a walk, 2 strikeouts, no hits, no earned runs. Bryce Wilson, zeros across the board in his innings pitched. So that's back-to-back days for Bryce Wilson with terrific outings. Piamps comes in, gives up 1 hit, 1 K in his inning. Trevor McGill, back-to-back days for him. 1 inning, 1 K. And Hopi Milner, 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 Ks, did his thing. Obviously, you heard that they scored 2. And obviously, one of them was unearned because only one pitcher had an earned run. And it was 1 earned run from Wade Miley. So in this one, who all decided to get home runs. Oh, by the way, the Brewers swing for the fences. They only had 1 home run in this game, and it was Tyrone Taylor, his 6th of the season. Canna had an RBI, his 49th. Tyrone Taylor, his home run, got him to 21 RBIs. Victor Caratini, I said it correctly that time, pat on the back. 22 RBIs for him after his 2 RBIs. Willie Adames up to 72, so he's starting to inch up there towards numbers that we expected from him, even with the bad average all year long, and he just went on a couple tears, and he's up there.
And very time on the injured list.
Yeah. Monasterio also up to 22 RBIs, and William Contreras got 2 RBIs in this one, so the Brewers scored 9 runs in this game, so the offense was buzzing for back-to-back days. Series win for them, so gotta love it.
Yeah. Isaac said I look like a sideline coach for the Badgers. I will gladly accept that and take that as a compliment. So thank you, Isaac.
I just look like a guy.
Yeah. You look like a dude wearing baby blue.
Let's do it.
So top of the first, Christian Yelich was scratched from this game. So Sal Frelick was put into the leadoff spot, drew a walk to lead off the game. So good for him. Going up to the top of the 3rd inning, Sal had a 2-out single that broke up 8 straight retired batters by the Yankees.
Nice.
Top of the 4th inning, Mark Canha gets down 0-2 in the count and then rips a single on a 1-2 count, extends his hit and on base streak. William Contreras followed by hitting one off the right field wall that bounced past Giancarlo Stanton, which if you watched the game, they talked about it. He's got a bad hamstring. They're basically just playing him for his bat. So Willie Adames, after he hits that one off the right field wall, gets a triple and then gets to have a little league home run on the throw to third base. So Willie Adames probably needed some oxygen after that play, but that made the game 2-0. Bottom of the 4th, 1-out, 4-pitch walk. And then Andre Monasterio tried to play a short hop on a ground ball, and it bounced off his glove. Just a very rare defensive mistake for Andre Monasterio. That turned that into a single that made the game 2-1. No, Isaac, surprisingly, Aaron Boone did not get ejected in any of these games. Very surprising.
I was waiting for it in the 3rd game because I was like, man, we went 2 straight games without him getting ejected.
Right. So after that, a ground ball was hit to Willie Adames, and a wet ball forced a not great throw to second base that was called safe. That made the game 2-2. Wade Miley was done after that, and Elvis Peguero came in. Now, this is a situation where the Brewers, and this is going to come up again when we talk about the 3rd game, the Brewers had to use a lot of relievers in this game because of the rain delay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can do all the back in my day all you want. Today's game, like, they don't like pitch complete games all the time, and they're careful with how they use guys. So Wade Miley, being 36 years old, was not going to go pitch 6 innings after being ready to start at 1:00, and the game didn't actually start till 3:30.
Back in your day, how many guys threw 100? Because it's a lot more now.
So Wade Miley only ended up pitching the 3 1/3 I think it was 3 1/3, not 3 2/3 innings. So a short appearance for Wade Miley because of the rain delay. That's important because we're going to discuss tomorrow from this game, game 3. I knew what I was getting at. trying to set the picture for myself, I guess. Bottom of the 5th, Elvis Peguero came back out. Went 1-2, walk 3, had 2 Ks in the inning. Bottom of the 6th, Bryce Wilson came in, got a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 7th, Yoel Piamps came in, got a 1-2 single 3. Shelly said you guys are awesome. Was there a sexy play on Monday? We're gonna get to it.
We're still on Saturday.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So top of the 8th, Tyrone Taylor pulls a leadoff home run that makes the game 3-2. Sal Frelick just putting the ball in play follows with an infield single. William Contreras hits an opposite field single. Carlos Santana did pop into the shallow outfield, but that one fell for a single that loaded the bases. And then Mark Hanna, another just pop flare, made the game 4-2. Willie Adames hit into a fielder's choice. The Yankees throw home to get the out there. And then Victor Caratini with a 1-out sac fly made the game 5-2. Bottom of the eighth, Trevor McGill coming in again in a 5-2 3-run game. Gets a first pitch swinging. Carlos Santana goes and makes a catch over the dugout. So having a good defensive first baseman has paid dividends for the Brewers. Second pitch gets a flyout, and then the third, fourth, and fifth pitches become a strikeout. Trevor McGill gets a 1-2-3 inning on 5 pitches.
Pretty good.
I'll take that all day. Top of the ninth, Bryce Terang led off with a walk. Tyrone Taylor hit a flare single, and then they ran a double steal, and both runners were safe without a throw. So the Brewers got second and third with nobody out. Sal Frelick drawing a walk loads the bases, still with no outs. And then William Contreras hits a single up the middle, makes the game 7-2. Canna gets hit on the helmet with a hit by a pitch, loads the bases again. Victor Caratini draws a walk, makes the game 8-2. Andre Monasterio draws a walk, makes the game 9-2. That is 3 consecutive runs driven in without a hit.
Jesus.
So getting on base literally produced runs.
Let's look at the comment.
Shelly would all the time.
Yes, this is why we wanted him up.
Yeah,
Mamma mia.
with the spaghetti.
You have to. It just feels right.
Bottom of the ninth inning, Hobie Milner came in, got a strikeout, gave up 2 singles, and then another strikeout and a flyout. Miley's 3 strikeouts that he had, 2 of them were looking. So this game, the Brewers had 11 hits, 6 walks, and 1 hit by pitch. That's 18 base runners.
Goddamn.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
The Brewers record, they showed this stat during the game. I didn't update it, but they showed it during this game. When the Brewers get a driven in run by Willie Adames, they are 31-8. Now, you said you don't like this stat. Is there a reason why? And then I'll tell you why I do like it.
I don't want to say my reason because now I know your reason and it made me feel dumb. But I will say that you could tell the offense is so much better when he hits, right? But when he doesn't hit, it seems like we lose, right? And then I said that to you, and then you said some smart guy stuff, and I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So why don't you just give your reason?
So my thing with the Brewers being 31-8 in games that Willie Adames drives in runs, to me, it says a lot of things about the guys batting before him. So Willie Adames being in the 4-5 hole, to me, it says that the guys batting 1 through 4 are getting on base a lot so that Willie Adames has the opportunity to drive in runs.
Yeah, so for the people doing math at home at that point in the season, they're 31-8 when he gets 1+ RBIs. When Adames gets 0 RBIs, they're 40-49. That's just like, why does that happen? Why is that such a thing?
Yeah, don't love that. Yeah, but that to me, that just says that the Brewers do well when they're the top of the order guys are getting on base. That's really what puts them in the best position to win.
Yep.
Which, not to say that the guys at the bottom of the order don't matter, because we have had games where guys at the bottom of the order, the Andre Monasterio and Bryce Terang and Joey Weimer and Victor Caratini, we've had plenty of games where those guys have made major contributions that became reasons we won. So I do want to make that point. So the bullpen in this game, 5 2/3 scoreless innings, only 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts.
It's become so normal that I just expect the bullpen to just dominate everybody, right? So when we give up a home run in the 8th, it's like, oh, well, I don't like that feeling. But once every month, all right, I can handle it.
So this also popped up during the game. The Brewers are second in Major League Baseball in 3-run innings since August 1st. They have 29. 17 of those 29 have come without home runs.
Nope, we swing for the fences.
That's the next thing I have written in my notes is I want people to stop saying when the Brewers lose, the Brewers need to stop swinging for the fences. They're swinging for contact. The Brewers scored 9 runs in this game. Only 1 of them came off of home runs, and it was Tyrone Taylor's solo shot.
Mm-hmm.
The day before, they scored 2 runs out of 8 off of home runs.
Yep.
The 12 runs that they scored on Monday's game, which we're going to get to, 11 of them manufactured runs.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, the only home run the Brewers had was literally the first batter.
Yep.
Then they proceeded to score 11 more runs without hitting home runs. They need to stop swinging for the fences bullshit. Needs to stop. Isaac said our goal should be to go down the Brewers slide. I would love to.
Don't put that in my head. That would be, oh God, would that be a day?
My goal is to next summer to be able to get to be one of the Brewers' social media ambassadors, and then we would get to go down the slide.
That would be disgusting. I would also like to fail at doing the Lambeau leap. That would also be cool. Oh, it would be horrible. It would be tremendous, but it'd be horrible.
So yeah, I brought up Wade Miley getting a short start after the rain delay. Mark Canha's hit streak went to 8, his on base streak to 20. The last 2 weeks, Mark Canha 490 on base percentage, number 1 in baseball. And then the last thing, 13 of the 17 runs scored in these 2 games were scored in the 7th inning or later. And I brought up that the Yankees had the number 1 bullpen in Major League Baseball, and the Brewers put on 13 runs on them in 2 days.
Ugh.
All right. So ups and downs. Let's talk about Game 3. What stood out to you from Game 3? A lot of things.
Yeah, this was a fun baseball game to watch.
It really was.
Start of NFL Sunday, so I'm watching NFL football and paying attention to the Brewer game. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm getting broken neck here watching both things. But Corbin Burnes was freaking awesome in this game, plain and simple. Like I said earlier, he was my power pitcher. So 8 innings pitched, 0 hits. He no hit them through 8 innings, no earned runs, obviously. 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. I didn't say the strikeouts before on purpose because I wanted to add it in here. So 7 Ks through 8 innings. He was dealing, and the Brewers were also facing a very good pitcher, for a little bit of context. Garrett Cole's pretty good, if you forgot.
He's better than pretty good. I'd be 90% sure he's going to win the AL Cy Young this year.
Yeah,
he's going to be like his 11th fucking Cy Young award.
Yeah, he's just a fucking monster.
Pirates could have had him. Could have kept him.
They could have. Thank God they didn't. That's great for us.
Whatever.
I don't want to face him. The Pirates got a crazy roster. Imagine if they got a lot of young talent. Yeah. So imagine a Garrett Cole.
For some fucking reason they traded for Chris Archer in 2018, which was dumb, but whatever.
Yeah. I don't know either.
I don't
Devin Williams comes in the 9th, and he pitches an inning, no hit. We're going to get to some crazy stuff that happened. Abner Uribe comes in, also keeps the no-hitter intact, had 1 walk and 2 Ks. Then we got to the extra innings, and it was like, how long can we do this? Because this was a 0-0 game going into extra innings, and Joel Payamps gave up the first hit of the game, had 2 walks, a K, ended up giving up a run, and that one an unearned run. Yeah. Shafin comes in, and everybody in Wisconsin collectively went, oh boy. Gives up a home run immediately after the Brewers scratched 2 across, and we couldn't get one across for 9 innings. And it was like, why is this happening to me right now?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Nah, I know you will. Hopi Milner only pitched a third of an inning. Ended up giving up the winning run, but 13-inning battle when we already won the series in New York. We came back home. Obviously, we got some context, some 2020 context here, but yeah, we ended up winning that series. We're doing some home cooking again. In this one, Tyrone Taylor, Monasterio, and Weimer all at RBIs. 22 for Taylor, 23 for Monasterio, and 41 for Weimer. Terang and Weimer also had doubles, 9 doubles for Terang and 18 doubles for Weimer at this point. But tremendous outing by Corbin Burnes. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pick this up in the 9th inning because we know Corbin Burnes was great, and I've heard oh my God, we waste Corbin Burnes starts. Do you not think that other teams line up their best starter against our best starter so they have the best chance to win? Nobody's looking at their scheduling being like, oh, shit, we faced Corbin Burnes that day. Let's put our number 5 starter against him. We'll just lose that one on purpose.
Yeah, like
not a single team in Major League Baseball is doing that. Teams want to line their best starters up against each other's best starters.
Yep.
Isaac, I'm going to come back to your comment when we're done talking about this game. Because I kept receipts. Oh. So I want to pick this game up in the bottom of the 9th inning. So you brought up Devin Williams getting a 1-2-3. Now, his third out that he recorded was striking out Aaron Judge. Did you notice that after strike 2, he was smiling?
I saw that.
Devin Williams, oh my God, he got the second strike and he's just smiling. It's just like, oh my God, Devin Williams.
He knew he had him. That's why.
Nuts.
He knew he had him. It was over at that point.
That's just like, if I was a Yankees fan and I saw that, I'd be like, fuck.
I'm sure there was millions doing that.
It's like Devin Williams giving a smirk with 2 strikes to Aaron Judge of all people. Like, this isn't a dude who's batting 190 with 2 home runs on the year. This is Aaron Judge, like literal reigning MVP. And Devin Williams is like, yeah, I'm about to get this dude. So that was awesome. Now, going to the bottom of the 10th, Abner Uribe got a strikeout looking, a walk, a lucky strikeout looking. I will admit the second strikeout that Abner Uribe got was a lucky call. But Angel Hernandez, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And then Sal Frelick makes probably what's going to be the catch of the year, like his 18th highlight reel already of the season.
Freaking guy just flies everywhere. What the hell?
He's small, but he will catch everything.
He is, dude. Like, I've made this comparison before, but like in basketball, when they say a guy plays bigger than he is, Sal Frelick 100% plays bigger than he is.
That's a great way to look at that.
He does not play 5'10". That guy feels 6'7", like Aaron Judge.
Yeah. So Sal Frelick, you have Sal Frelick, you have Joey Weimer, you have Garrett Mitchell, and you have Jackson Chourio. You basically have 4 guys that could all give you elite center field defense.
That's fucking nuts.
We get to have them all in the same outfield.
I know. Dude,
Shelly, there's an emoji for this. There's an Italian hand emoji. It's a real thing.
It is. It's my favorite one.
I replied to it to a tweet that Sal Frelick was tagged in yesterday because I want to get Sal Frelick doing this.
Dude.
In a Brewers jersey. They did that as their team celebration for Team Italy, but
I'm telling you, I need the Brewers to do that so bad, bro.
I know. I want it.
I need it so bad, dude.
Vinny Rotino's on board, too. I said Vinny Rotino. I'm like, what do you think for the Brewers' next hit celebration to be the Italian hands?
Bro, see? I'm telling you, bro. That would be so fire. Oh, I would freak out, dude.
So, the top of the 11th, Tyrone Taylor single made the game 1-0. Payamps was looking to give the Brewers their first 11th inning actually really just the first 11-inning no-hitter ever in the history of baseball. Ground got the runner to third, and a double ended the no-hitter and tied the game. This was following this. Payamps got a strikeout, and then a walk brings up Aaron Judge. Now, third base was open, so they intentionally walked Aaron Judge to load the bases, and then Payamps got a fielder's choice to end the 11th. So just some good baseball managing there. Now, top of the 12th, Joey Weimer hits an RBI double to start the 12th inning. Gets the third on a Willie Adames flyout, and then Andre Monasterio sac fly makes the game 3-1. And then we get to the bottom of the 12th, and they bring in Andrew Chafin. So we just mentioned the day before all the relievers they had to use because of the rain delay.
Yep.
So now the only 2 guys left in the bullpen, mainly, that haven't pitched in the day before are Thiago Rivera and Andrew Chafin.
Yep.
So you're not in a great place of guys you can use. So Craig Counsell didn't really have a choice, and he used Andrew Chafin, who gave up a home run, to Giancarlo Stanton. So again, this isn't a guy batting 190 who has 2 home runs on the year. This is fucking Giancarlo Stanton.
Dude, the guy's had 2 names. He hit home runs with both names. So, I mean, leave it what it is.
They literally put him in an outfield with a bad leg just to have his bat in a lineup. That's how good of a hitter he is.
He's a good hitter, dude.
So that tied the game at 3. Chafin followed up by going strikeout, flyout, and then we know that the Yankees won in the 13th inning off of Hobie Milner, who was a pitcher that Craig Counsell did not want to use in this game.
Yeah.
He didn't want to use Trevor McGill, Elvis Peguero, guys that had pitched like 3 of the last 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm being completely honest with you, I would rather lose a game in 13 innings than to have any one of the A bullpen guys get hurt.
Agreed.
The consolation prize being 2 out of 3 games won on the road in New York.
What's up, Tim?
Yankees are so desperate. The Yankees, they might as well be mathematically eliminated. They're 1 game over 500.
Yeah.
But really what it comes down to is this is a tough game to lose, but it still only counts as 1 loss.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to throw this out there. Corbin Burnes against Aaron Judge, a strikeout and 2 groundouts. So Brewers, they handle Aaron Judge pretty well for the series as a whole. I didn't take down his whole series numbers, but over the course of the series, they kept Aaron Judge in check.
Very nice.
All right, so Monday's game, the game we were at, this was amazing to watch. Now, Jake usually kicks it to me to do the breakdowns. I did this one a little bit differently because I wanted to keep all of Brandon Woodruff's stuff together. So I did this one by Marlins batting and Brewers. So I did this one a little bit different. So we'll see how this goes, doing the breakdown a little bit different. So, Jake, what's it out to you from Monday's game?
First of all, I want to give another shout out to Mike from Wisco Collect. Thank you so much, dude. Honestly, that was incredible, dude. Walking down there, I was like, am I going to the right seat? Like, am I supposed to be down here? I've never been this close. Is somebody going to come stop me? Like, it was fantastic. It was great to meet Shelly as well. So, Brandon Woodruff was an absolute boss in this game. 9 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 walk, 0 earned runs, the shutout, then complete game shutout, obviously, and 7 Ks. We were watching it got to the 6th inning, 7th inning, and we were starting to watch the pitch count, pretty close. Is he gonna go the whole way? And god damn it, he did, and it was needed, big time.
It was.
We mentioned all the guys. Tyler's went over a couple times now, but all the people using the bullpen, absolutely necessary for the Brewers in a stretch where they're playing 17 straight games, I believe.
Yep.
This was absolutely a big time start by Brandon Woodruff that will, push us later into the season in a good spot. So, 9 innings pitched, man, incredible. I cannot believe I just watched a complete game shutout that close. That was crazy. Let's get into the run score because we have 12 of them. We're almost up. We were up by 2 touchdowns, technically, if you think about it, without the extra points.
Without the extra points,
yeah. Football season, I'll give you a football stat here. Up by 2 touchdowns. RBIs in this game started out by Mark Canha, leadoff homer, 50th RBI, 10th home run. Josh Donaldson got on the board, first RBI as a Brewer, so we saw that live. That's sick. Tyrone Taylor, 2 RBIs. The guy had a 3-hit game. The guy's balling lately.
Yeah, he is.
2 RBIs for him. He's up to 24. Willie Adames. I don't know what to say about this guy, dude. When he hits the ball, he's getting at least a double. That's just how I feel.
Told you, it's 6 extra base hits this week. 6 hits, all extra bases.
He's a monster. 4 RBIs for him, up to 76 RBIs now. Monasterio, up to 24. Joey Weimer got on the board when the catcher was pitching, but I don't care. Still counts as an RBI. He's up to 42. And Sal Frelick got his 20th RBI. Doubles in this game. Tyrone Taylor with 10. Willie Adames with 2 of them. He's up to 22 now. Joey Weimer's up to 19. Willie Adames also had his 2nd triple of the season. I'm out of breath. That was a lot of talking.
That was
got a stat for you when we're done.
We got lots of stats. Oh boy, we got lots of stats. So the first thing I want to do is give Craig Counsell credit for getting a bunch of righties in this lineup against a left-handed pitcher. So the left-handed pitcher coming, he moves Andre Monasterio to second base and then brings Josh Donaldson in to play third base. So tons of righties. Carlos Santana's a switch hitter, but then Everybody else, the only lefty in the lineup was Sal Frelick.
It's okay. He's good.
He's real good. So Mark Canha, actually, on the home run that he hit, he got down 0-2.
He did.
And then he hit a solo leadoff home run on a 2-2 count. Pair of walks followed, but neither of them scored. Second inning, Andre Monasterio led off with a single. Sal Frelick had a 1-out single. Andre Monasterio got picked off at second base, and then Weimer struck out. That inning was a little tough. That inning looked like a bunch of rookies playing baseball, and it kind of showed. It is what it is. Having the benefit of hindsight, we know that it works out okay.
She found it. That girl.
She's going to be using that all the time now. People are going to be like, what are you doing? Just like the lady that was in the row in front of us. She's like, what is this? And I'm like, it's the Italian hand. She said left-handed people are the best.
I love my grandma and I love my stepson, so I'll just agree to.
Yeah, my mom's left-handed, but doesn't make it less weird.
I agree.
They can be the best and weird at the same time.
Yeah.
Third inning, William Contreras had a 1-out walk. Carlos Santana followed with a single off the third baseman's glove that allowed William Contreras to get to third base. Willie Adames had a one-hop off-the-wall double, 107 miles an hour off the bat for Willie Adames on that double. So that made the game 2-0. Still had the second and third with nobody out. Josh Donaldson followed with a single that made the game 3-0. Andre Monasterio drew a walk. So the bases were loaded for Tyrone Taylor. Tyrone Taylor singles made the game 4-0. And then Sal Frelick, the fielder's choice, broke 6 straight runners reaching base. Bottom of the fourth, the Brewers went 1-2-3. And then bottom of the fifth, Willie Adames led off with another double. Good hustle by him and a good slide to get his foot in ahead of the tag. And then Tyrone Taylor with 2 outs hits a first pitch double, makes the game 5-0. Also good hustle by Tyrone Taylor for a great dive into second base. Now, following this, Sal Frelick pulls a single, and Tyrone Taylor dives into home plate. I want to put this to you. I think Tyrone Taylor might be the best, base slider on the team.
You're not going to hear an argument from me. The guy is good at it. I will say, in the running, in my opinion, are 2 guys that come to mind. One, Yelich. The guy's just long. Yep. And 2, Sal Frelick, because I believe he's just fucking good at everything.
So I think those are fair guys to bring up. The reason I want to say this with Tyrone Taylor is because we've seen it a handful of times in the last week. He is so savvy at diving to the outside of the bag to the opposite place of where the tag is coming.
I agree.
So he's done it at home plate twice over the last week and a half, because we have the picture of William Contreras and the umpire both doing the safe. That's Tyrone Taylor diving basically a body width outside the baseline, but diving with just his hand to tap on the plate or to tap on second base, which is what happened on his double.
Yeah, we talked about how crazy good that slide was. That slide was amazing.
So, yeah. So I just wanted to give Tyrone Taylor some credit for that, for 2 great dives, basically in the same span of plays. Sal Frelick got the second on the throw, made the game 6-0. In the 6th inning, Mark Canha had a leadoff infield single. William Contreras had an opposite field single. And then Carlos Santana drew a walk to load the bases for Willie Adames, and he pulls a sexy triple into the left field corner. That made the game 9-0, and it's just damn, the Brewers are just uncorking the offense.
It was so nice to just relax. Oh, remember the first half of the season when we were bitching about that? Man, can we just have a game where we relax? Not every game has to be
one game where we don't have to stress. One game where Devin Williams comes in a 1-inning game or 1-run game, and he doesn't give up 2 walks and a single to load the bases before striking 3 straight guys out.
I'm sick and tired of going into cardiac arrest after every Brewers game.
And then they'll just have one, just once a week. It's just every Monday the Brewers would win 14-1, and then it's all right, here we go. Now we're gonna run the rest of the games this week 3-2.
Yeah, and now they're kind of kicking some people's asses kind of consistently now. To be honest with you,
yeah. For the offense, for guys like Tyrone Taylor, Bryce Terang, Andre Monasterio, for them to get hot at the right time it's huge.
It is.
And I said this to you the other day. I don't think anybody wants to face the Brewers with an offense.
Absolutely not.
I already know that the Brewers have great pitching, but to face the Brewers with an offense, that's scary.
Yeah.
So 7th inning, William Contreras Oh, no, sorry. Sixth inning. Sorry. Josh Donaldson drew a walk. That was his second time on base in his first game as a Brewer. Andre Monasterio hit an opposite field single. That made the game 10-0. He was the sixth straight man on base. So twice in this game, the Brewers got 6 straight people on base. Just throwing it out there. Said it a bunch of times. Getting on base increases your chances of scoring and increases your chances of winning. Eventually, you're going to run out of bases to put people.
You are.
So Tyrone Taylor had a fielder's choice after that, and then Joey Wiemer reached on an error, made the game 11-0. Seventh inning, William Contreras had a leadoff infield single. Brian Anderson got a little bit of burn in this game. He had a fielder's choice. Rowdy Tellez came in, gave a good at-bat, but the Marlins got a lucky low strike call to end the inning with a strikeout for Rowdy Tellez, basically a mercy strikeout. And then you mentioned the catcher coming in to pitch the 8th inning. Tyrone Taylor had a single and Joey Wiemer had a double. Joey Wiemer getting that double made it so that every starter in the lineup had a hit.
Love it.
Now, let's talk about Brandon Woodruff. So top of the first, he gives up two out singles and then gives up a strike or gets a strikeout to end it with runners at second and third. Second inning, I don't blame the Marlins for trying to put a bunt down at Josh Donaldson because he's 37 years old. So Marlins tried to get a bunt single in the second inning. Donaldson threw him out and they reviewed it. The Marlins challenged the play. He was still out. Another 2-out single. So I tracked it. The Marlins had 6 hits in this game. 4 of them came with 2 outs. So you really talk about limiting chances to score. 4 out of 6 hits with 2 outs. I mean, if you're going to give up 6 hits, Brandon Woodruff picked, I guess I would say, the right time to do it.
True that.
Third inning, 1 pitch, 1 out, 2 pitches equals the second out, and then 4-pitch strikeout to end the inning at 7 pitches in the third inning.
That's pretty
Fourth inning. Fourth inning. Oh, just wait. Fourth inning, he had a 1-2-3, only 8 pitches. Fifth inning, 1-2-3, only 7 pitches. So Brandon Woodruff threw 22 pitches in the third, fourth, and fifth innings put together.
That is how you get through 9 innings.
That's how you pitch a complete game. A leadoff single in the 6th inning broke 10 straight batters retired by Woodruff. That was followed by a walk and then a strikeout. And then Woodruff got Jazz Chisholm to fly out. And then Joey Wiemer on this fly out snags the ball away from Tyrone Taylor, makes a rocket throw into Willy Adames, who throws to Andrew Monasterio, who runs and tags out Josh Bell on a bad base running mistake. And this, to me, is where I felt like, all right, Brandon Woodruff is going to be able to go to a complete game. Because getting this double play on a mistake by the Marlins, that was really where like Brandon Woodruff didn't have to deal with a lot of traffic despite having 2 guys on base. So being able to get out of that inning was huge. Another 1-2-3 inning in the 7th, only 13 pitches that inning. The 8th inning was another 1-2-3, a 3-pitch strikeout, a ground out on the first pitch, and then a 4-pitch pop out. So another 8-pitch inning in the 8th inning. Then the 9th inning, it got a little sweaty. Like, all right, maybe Woodruff might not get to finish this one. They had Thiago Vieira up in the bullpen, but a fly out, a broken bat single that sent a bunch of shrapnel at Brandon Woodruff, but none of it got him. And then a fly out.
Thank God.
And another single with 2 strikes. Just, come on, man. Why you got to be that guy? Just strike out so we can end the game. No, that's a 2-strike double or a single, dick. But next pitch, Brandon Woodruff gets a pop out to end the game. So the pitches by inning through the first 15, 12, 7, 8, 7, 22. That 6th inning was a little rough. 13, 8, and then the 9th inning, Brandon Woodruff was able to finish the game. Now, Brandon Woodruff threw 106 pitches. The Brewers are now 9-2 in his last 11 starts.
That's a good stat.
26 out of 33 batters that he faced were first pitch strikes.
That's also a good one.
It was the first complete game shutout by a Brewer since September 4th, 2021. Adrian Hauser against the Cardinals. I remember watching that game. Brandon Woodruff, now 21 straight scoreless innings.
Damn.
And Josh Bell, facing Brandon Woodruff is now 3 for 28 with a walk against Brandon Woodruff.
He does not like Brandon Woodruff.
Brandon Woodruff owns Josh Bell.
Yes, he does. That is his property.
And then we kind of touched on this a little bit. The fourth game of 17 straight for Brandon Woodruff to be able to pitch 4 innings and essentially make this an off day for the rest of the pitching staff is huge, especially when you factor in how much usage they had the 2 previous days.
So I got 2 things I had real quick because I forgot, and I am so sorry. The triple by Adames, sexy. That was a sexy play. Very sexy play. And since being swept in LA at Dodger Stadium, the Milwaukee Brewers are 15-6, pitching a 3.14 pi for all you math nerds ERA.
Nice.
First in Major League Baseball, and they're averaging 6.05 runs per game. That is 5th in Major League Baseball. You appreciate it. You're welcome. I didn't forget a second time.
All right, what stood out to you from last night's game? We got 1 game left on the Brewers. What stood out to you from last night?
What stood out to me from last night was that Freddy Peralta decided to go. I almost did it, dude. I literally
Freddy.
I looked at his name and I almost went Willie, but I was like, the Freddy Peralta went 6 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, and 9 Ks. Those 9 Ks inspired a great meme by my boy right there. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. So good. Hobie Milner also pitched last night, inning and a third, 0 hits, 0 earned runs. You're welcome. I'm a man of the people. 0 walks and 1 K. Abner Uribe gave us a third of an inning, 1 walk, 1 K. And Devin Williams pitched in this one, locked her down, got another save. Josh Donaldson absolutely demolished a freaking baseball last night. What was that, 436, 434?
426.
426. I knew it was a 6. 426. Monasterio got on the RBI train. Contreras got on the RBI train, which got him off 69, which is sad, but necessary.
Now he can finish with 100.
Yep, now he can finish with 100. So, the Brewers won this one 3-1, a good old-fashioned 3-1 Brewers game. Hopefully they get another win tonight, win this series. That's all I'm focused on. Let's just keep winning series, keep stacking these W's, get that magic number down, win this division, and laugh at Cubs fans.
Don't worry, Shelly. We'll have more 69s. I'm positive of it.
I told you, they find us. They find us at this point.
I think we manifest 69s in our statistics. So for the Marlins batting, Luis Arias got ahead 2-0 on Freddy Peralta, pulled a leadoff home run, and Council joked about Freddy. God, you motherfucker! You made me do it.
I'm so sorry.
Craig Council joked about it, that Freddy Peralta needed to give up a solo home run, because he's done that a few times in his last couple starts, and he does that, and then he just locks shit down.
Yeah.
Andre Monasterio, this is Josh Bell running, but still, for Andre Monasterio to be facing a left-handed batter running towards third base and then make a jump throw back to first base, it's still a nice play by Andre Monasterio. And then following that, a 3-pitch strikeout and a ground out ended the first inning. Second inning for the Marlins, 1-2 single 3 inning with 2 strikeouts. Now, following this, so this is the 3rd through the 6th inning. So this is just what Freddy Peralta did. A strikeout, 2-3, strikeout, second out, strikeout, and then a 1 strikeout 3 inning in the 5th, and then a strikeout, second out, strikeout in the 6th inning. Freddy Peralta retired 13 straight batters, and 9 of them were strikeouts.
Jesus.
Freddy Peralta gets the first out of the 7th, done at 95 pitches with 6 1/3 inning, 9 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 0 walks, and only 2 hits. Now, Jake brought up that this inspired the Freddie K graphic, which is on the Wisco Fanatics Facebook page. You can see that there. Did the Freddy Peralta in a Freddy Krueger sweater, made him Freddie K because he's racking up all the strikeouts. Freddy Peralta is now the 8th pitcher in Brewers franchise history to reach 200 strikeouts in a season. And I wrote them all down because I want to see how many Jake can get.
Oh, geez,
8 pitchers. 8 pitchers in Brewers franchise history have 200 strikeouts in a season.
Corbin Burnes.
That's one. Done it twice.
Ben Sheets.
That's another one.
Giovanni Gallardo.
He's done it 4 times.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Every time I hear Giovanni, real quick, every time I hear Giovanni Gallardo stat, I'm just like, damn, he was really good for us.
Dude is a baller.
Holy shit. I didn't appreciate him enough. I always hate when I hear this shit. When I was younger, I didn't appreciate these players enough, man.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Did Brandon Woodruff do it? He had to have.
He did it once.
He had to have. So I got half.
Yep.
It's gonna be some random ass.
I'll tell you that Freddy Peralta is one of the 8, so you need 3 more to guess. Fair. So 3 left.
I just want to say his name to get his name in the universe out here. Chris Capuano.
It's not Chris Capuano.
I know.
I appreciate the guess, and there is a guy from his era on here, but there is one like 80s great, one guy you should know, and then a guy who played in the Chris Capuano era.
Oh, God. Now my head's going everywhere, bro. My head's going everywhere. Why'd you do that? My head's going everywhere now. Oh, boy. One I should know.
You should know one of them.
One I should know.
Dude is arguably one of the greatest active pitchers that's played.
Oh, God. Well, it's not CC because he didn't play here long enough to get to.
You're on the right track, though.
Is he from that team?
Not in that season, but similar stature.
Similar stature?
Similar. Oh. Not the same, but similar.
So he's a fat guy?
No, not physical stature.
Oh, like greatness stature.
Like career greatness. Yep.
I'm drawing a blank now. Just tell me.
Or number 13.
Oh my God! Really, Zach Greinke?
Zach Greinke is one of them.
Why did I not get that?
You should have gotten him.
I'm a POS for that. I am a POS for that. You could have just told me that he's like a savage, and I would have been like, yeah, Zach Greinke, because Zach Greinke is a savage. An 80s great? I'm never gonna get that. I don't know anything from the 80s because
Teddy Higuera. He did it twice. Teddy Higuera did it twice.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a guy from the Chris Capuano era, maybe a little bit after.
Just tell me.
Doug Davis.
Oh my God. I could have guessed that one. And I should have got Zach Greinke. I agree with you. I would have never got the 80s, dude. I would have never got the 80s. I don't go back that far into my portfolio.
All right. So
that was an old people dig, just so you know.
Yeah, attaboy. Holy Miller came in after Freddy Peralta in the 7th. Struck out Jazz Chisholm on 3 pitches, which was nice. Milner came back out for the 8th. A nice catch by Sal Frelick. Kind of a diving, sliding kind of catch. So Milner got the first 2 outs of the 8th. And then Abney Uribe came in, gave up a walk, which ended 18 straight batters retired, and then a looking strikeout to end the 8th. Devin Williams came in to face the top of the order, got a 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout for the 9th. Now, the Brewers part of this, Sal Frelick got down 0-2, worked back to 2-2, hit a leadoff infield single, was wiped out by a double play by William Contreras. But second inning, 4 straight walks gets the Brewers a run in. So just another example of eventually there's not going to be anybody or any place to put base runners. I'm gonna have Jake read the entire history of the Milwaukee Brewers when we're done.
I can just go to my dad; he'll tell me.
So 4 straight walks tie the game at 1. The 3rd inning, Joey Wiemer came in for Mark Canha. Mark Canha left the game with wrist soreness. We started the show by saying Mark Canha is getting a cortisone shot, and he will be back probably around Friday. 4th inning, Josh Donaldson's solo home run made the game 2-1. That was 426 feet. 7th inning, Andre Monasterio, a leadoff double off the top of the wall where it slants out to left center field. If he hits that 3 feet to the left, it's a home run. But just a little bit of that slant in the center field area for the Brewers. Tyrone Taylor followed an infield single kind of at the third baseman. So the Brewers at first and third with nobody out. Sal Frelick struck out looking at a pitch that was in the zone. Now, we saw this on Monday that Sal Frelick struck out swinging on a pitch that was moving away from him, ended up being way out of the zone, and we were kind of like, Sal, like we knew he swung at a pitch that he didn't, want to swing at. So I think that kind of affected him in this spot because it was another pitch that was tailing away from him. So I kind of felt like he kind of had that at bat from the day before in the back of his memory, and that's why he took that pitch and struck out looking. So just want to throw that out there with Sal Frelick. Doesn't
He's a
strike out a
rookie.
lot.
He'll
but-
learn. He'll learn.
And then William Contreras had a sac fly that made the game 3-1. So his on base streak did end, but he still drew over run in. And then the 8th inning, Joey Weimer had a leadoff hit by pitch. Josh Donaldson got a single who was thrown out at second. But we'll be here. You can also
watch on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, we're thinking the same thing, my boy. Let's go.
We've been doing this for a while, I guess.
Yeah.
So Freddy Peralta finished. He actually didn't even say finish. He had 14 swing and misses before the 4th inning.
Yeah.
He was just his secondary pitch that he was using was the slider. His changeup wasn't as sharp last night, so he was using the slider as his change of pace pitch. And I brought up the first pitch strikes with Brandon Woodruff. The first pitch strikes for Freddy Peralta, 18 out of 21. And we did say last week we wanted a 4-1 week, and we got it. The Brewers are a season high 18 games over 500. Appreciate it, Shelly. And Burnes, Woodruff, Peralta the last 3 days, 23 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 3 walks, 23 strikeouts, and a .39 ERA.
Jesus.
You do not want to face the Brewers in a 5-game series.
No, you don't. Because we're throwing those 3 at you and good fucking luck.
Oh my God, these 3 are on another level right now.
If the Brewers average 4 runs per game in a 5-run series, 5-game series, they're winning that series. Easy.
Yeah. They're definitely winning that series. Alrighty, so the Brewers coming up, they have 2 more games against the Marlins, starting with tonight. They have 3 against Washington, and then they have 2 between now and next Wednesday. Next Wednesday's game is also a night game, so we're only going to have 2 from that. But 7 games over the next week. What are you looking at for a Brewers record prediction?
Well, I'm looking to get one of the 2 against the Marlins. Probably drop one of them. Just being realistic about it. Looking to get some revenge against the Nationals and win the first 2 games against all of a sudden playing really good Cardinals. This feels like a situation, they say it all the time in football, right? Where guys at the end of the season that are on bad teams, they don't have anything to lose, so they're just leaving it all on the field. They're all playing for position.
Calling up some prospects.
Yeah, the Cardinals are just calling everybody up, and they're just young dudes that are just playing baseball, right? No pressure.
Yeah.
So they're a pretty dangerous team right now. We have a lot of games against them to end the season. So I'll say we'll take 2 of them. So I'm going to say 6-1.
So I'm going to say I'm really looking, like you said, for just winning series. So the Brewers have their magic number is 14. So the Brewers have what? I want to say 17 games left, something like that.
Yeah.
17 or 19. The Brewers could go 11. It is 17 because the Brewers could go 11-6. No, 18 games. The Brewers could go 9-9. The Cubs could go 11-5, and the Brewers would still win the NL Central.
Damn.
So that's what I was looking at. That's the magic number.
And Isaac, see, that just proves my point, man. These teams that have nothing to lose, they're just out there playing ball. They have no
Isaac brought up
pressure.
the Athletics. The A's beat the Astros last night.
I saw that.
So the Astros must be terrible because they lost the game to the Athletics.
And the Rockies ended up holding on last night.
They beat the Cubs last night.
The night before, they had them on the ropes. On Monday, they had them on the ropes. But, yeah, last night they got a big win for us, so hopefully they can take another one.
So Isaac brought this up a little bit before, and I kept the receipts, and I published them on our page. This was 4 days ago. So today is now day 13 of Cubs not being in first place, despite saying they would be by September 1st. So today is day 13 of that being a lie. Again, I kept the receipts from Cubs and Brewers fans saying that, dude, the Cubs will be in first place soon. This team will be in third place by the weekend. All that shit. it's
the
just annoying.
the main people that are Brewers fans that are saying this stuff is like 3 people, and like I just have to think that they ride around on their bikes with their gigantic helmets on, drooling from their mouths, thinking of the next dumb shit to say.
Just like you said, just waiting for the Brewers to lose so they can be like, "See, told you."
Yeah, it's why that you gain nothing from that, but whatever.
I don't know. I think it's a really desperate attempt at an "I told you so." Because people want to seem smarter than those around them. So they just will cling to the negativity, wait for a loss to be like, see, they lost 1 game out of 5 this week, to be like, oh, told you so. Like, dude, they took a no-hitter through 10 innings.
Right.
And they lost against the Cy Young winner and best bullpen in baseball.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Season's over. Forgot it ended in June, though.
Yep. Never forget, dude.
Well, Ellie De La Cruz stole home. Our season's over.
Never forget. I'll never forget that, dude.
Recency bias is undefeated and annoys me.
You know what time it is, boy.
It is football time. So we are gonna bring in Mike like we do. He's ready to go.
Come on, Mikey boy. What's going on, my guy?
I perked up at the 69 comments again.
That's what he was doing on his phone while he's waiting in the back room to get going.
Oh, Jesus.
He's just like, I gotta find a 69 statistic in here somewhere.
I need a 69 reference.
Oh God.
That's gonna start being.
You can't put me on the spot like that. No way.
leave it to the professionals. I understand.
Yeah. Exactly. No, seriously. Yeah.
Alrighty, so we're gonna start with our power pair and underrated performer. Last week we did it with 3 each, and it seemed to be kind of a lot of guys to go through. So this week we broke it up kind of how we do with our Packers shows, where each one of us is going to cover 1 guy. So this week we're going to do a power pair and an underrated performer. So let's start. I'm going to go first because I'm going to start with the offensive power player. We decided on Tanner Mordecai. He was 25 of 40. That's a 62.5 completion percentage. He didn't throw any interceptions, which I think is important. And the fact that he had 2 fumbles, in my opinion, were not his fault. Anytime a quarterback gets hit on the blind side and fumbles, that's on the O-line, not on the quarterback. Like, obviously, if a quarterback can hold on to the ball in that situation, that's great work. But I don't blame Mordecai for losing fumbles for getting hit on his blind side. And the other thing with Tanner Mordecai that I just want to throw out there is I like that he's not afraid to run.
Yeah, he's got some sneaky athleticism.
Yeah.
He's mobile. So, that was going to be one of my biggest points to bring up. He got a couple third downs on his feet in that game, which I absolutely loved.
All righty. Mike has our defensive guy. Mike, who is our defensive power pair.
Yeah, so I mean, he's been the most consistent through 2 games. I've talked about him a lot on this show. It is Mr. Hunter Wohler. He had 13 total tackles and 10 solo, which is just freaking nuts. Clearly he's, in my view, he's been the best defensive player on the team so far this year.
I'd put it to you, he might be the best player on the team so far.
Yes, and I totally forgot to look up this stat before I got on here, but as far as total tackles goes, like 2 weeks in, I'm willing to bet he's got to be up there, like in NCAA ranks as like, the guy at the top of the list. So
he's got 24. So I mean, that's a lot,
which is insane. So no, he's a ball hawk. He's been all over the place with this team. It's really, really good to see. He's definitely the one guy that just has brought it these first 2 games without missing a beat. So had to give him a call out this week.
All right, Jake is our underrated performer. I'm just looking up to see where Hunter Wohler ranks the tackles. He is number 7.
He's number 7?
Number 7.
Okay.
The first, okay, so if we're going by guys who have only played 2 games, then he'd be 3rd.
Oh, there you go.
4 of the guys ahead of him have played 3 games already, and he's only played 2. So out of players that have only played 2 games so far, he is 3rd.
We're going to have to track that. Yeah.
Pretty damn good. for a guy that came into the season with 38 total tackles, and now he's third in the country. So pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
So for underrated performer, we went with big number 90, James Thompson Sr., me, Mikey, and I believe, Tyler, you were asking for pass rush too last week. But we were asking for pass rush. We were looking for somebody up front to win, get some pressure on Ward. And James Thompson must have been watching the show. Him and Getz were watching the show together in their dorm room. 5 total tackles, 3 solo, 1.5 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss. He was just creating a ton of havoc in the backfield all day long and winning his one-on-ones. He started to get double-teamed a little bit later in the game because he was literally wrecking their game plan. So James Thompson Jr. was very, very good.
Jake, let me throw this to you. He was basically the Badgers' Devontae Wyatt.
He was 100%.
There you go.
Same side of the line as well. So that's a good call, actually.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna let you guys give your offensive takeaways. I will be right back. I gotta run and grab something quick.
Okay, so Mikey, you want to start?
No, go ahead. I'll bring up the rear on this one.
Offensive breakdown. I don't really have a lot to take away. I feel like the offense took a little bit to get started. It's kind of like an old car, right? You turn the key and it gives you a little bit. Turn the key, gives you a little bit, and on the third turn, it starts up, right? And you're like, hell yeah, baby. So for me, 368 total yards is nothing to scoff at. It's a decent day, right? 278 passing, only 90 rushing. We just couldn't get the run game going this week, which I don't care what offense you run in football. You need to run the ball. Plain and simple. You can't run the ball, you're not going to be able to pass the ball. And if all you do is run and you can't pass, you're screwed. You need balance. Football is all about balance on the offensive side of the football. So 90 rushing yards, only 3.1 yards per attempt. That's not going to cut it for a team with talented backs as Ches Malusi and Braylon Allen. We call ourselves running back U. 3.1 yards per carry is an embarrassment, to be honest with you. They averaged 7 yards per attempt on the pass, which was decent, considering that we throw a lot of screen passes, a lot of, like smoke screens, little slants, drags. So that's a decent average. 6 of 14 on third down is livable. You can win games going 6 of 14 on third down. 0 for 1 on fourth down. 3 turnovers. The 2 sack fumbles. One of them obviously led to a touchdown, which was massive. And the third one, I just plain and simple don't think was a fumble. I'm just going to go out there and say that.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
There was a couple plays that could have went to green. And I think if we hit those plays, we hear it all the time with baseball and basketball and football. These games are games of inches. Couple inches this way, couple inches that way. He walks into the end zone. This is a different ball game. So I don't think that we're far off. I believe that these are building blocks. I'm not giving up on the season like half of our fan base is for some goddamn reason. Thank you.
I came up with a caption just for this discussion.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why we're giving up. These are building block games. Now, this game was way more important to Washington State than it was Wisconsin. Not saying that it wasn't important to Wisconsin, but this was a statement game for Washington State. Say, we could play with the big boys. We're the big boy in this situation, not the other way around. It was an away game. For some goddamn reason, we suck playing out west at night. Why? I don't ever want to play out west at night ever again. Although we're going to have to now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're forced to now. So my wish will not be granted. But the offense overall, I thought it was okay. We just need to run the ball a little bit better, get a little bit more consistent with our intermediate passing. Great call up by Tyler, by the way. But other than that, I have no problems with our offense. I believe that we're almost there. We're getting closer.
Okay, so just on this section specifically, the fact that there's so much optimism gone after literally one loss. Now, the 2 things that I want to bring up is if you spent all of the first half of last season calling for Paul Chris to be gone and for Graham Mertz to be gone, and you got both of those wishes to still be bitching after week 2, we got everything we could have wanted. A new coaching staff that's going to blend the tradition with the new. He's a great dude for working on social media to get recruits interested in coming here, to make them excited about being here. everybody's talking about how fast everything is, and we have guys that we appreciate them being here, like Luke Fickell, and then 12 transfers that followed him here. One being Tucker Ashcraft, who could be on Colorado right now, balling out.
True.
It's a little bit different because they didn't like re-offer him when Dion came in, but he still could have tried to walk on. But to go from like 12 weeks of complaining last season to being excited for 10 months of the offseason to just basically say, fuck it, I don't care that they started 1-1. I'm already angry it's ridiculous. For anybody who is going to ever try to tell me that recency bias isn't real, this is the perfect example.
100%.
To spend 10 months building this ship of optimism and then to jump off of it when a sample size of this big compared to the entire offseason that we had, like you spend all this time working on this thing just to toss it into the fire. I just can't wrap my head around that. And then the fact that the other thing that all the people that are complaining, I shouldn't say all of them, but you know, you got the old clickbait sites that are out there saying, "Ooh, we should bring back Jim Leonard."
Oh my God, I just about lost it.
Jim Leonard is a senior defensive consultant for Illinois who lost to Kansas this week.
They didn't just lose. Let's be clear. They absolutely got.
I didn't see the score.
Picked. Like it was that score wasn't like 34-23. That was pretty much 34-14, maybe at best. Like it wasn't
similar
close.
to the Bears' last touchdown that they scored against the Packers.
There you go.
Backups were in.
Yes.
So to be, we should have kept Jim Leonard. Like there's nothing, and all respect to Jim Leonard because he's an amazing like coach person. But there is not anything that we would be getting right now from Jim Leonard that would put us in a better position than we are with everybody else that we have here. I don't think that's even really a hot take to say.
And now Illinois has to go play Penn State.
Illinois has fairly similar expectations to Wisconsin, and they didn't have an entire coaching staff, system, and player turnover.
So last thing about Illinois, their first game, they beat Toledo by 2 points.
Yeah.
I mean, I hyped them up a little bit. I was actually liking what they were building in the offseason. I was like, oh, man, they're kind of building something a little nice over there. And then, not great.
All right. So on the subject of, I'll just say on the subject of the offense, Jake, you kind of touched on it already. Tanner Mordecai, if he just has just a little bit of touch in the game, it makes this game a lot different. I still think he was good in the deep. He was a little bit better in the intermediate throws this week, but still just a couple of them kind of left on the field. Mm-hmm. But I want to bring this up because we want to earn the respect of people who watch our show. For a guy from Washington State to level Will Pauling and then stand above him and do this little sleep motion.
Yeah,
thing,
dude.
Yeah.
That's, man, if I was his coach, I'd be screaming at him.
Yeah, fuck you for that.
That's one of the more classless things that I've seen. If you make a good play and you trash talk somebody, like that's one thing because you made the play. Like you deserve it. You made the play. You were the better person in that interaction. But to hurt somebody and then brag about it is completely different.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
So Washington State did get ranked up to number 23 this week after beating the Badgers, basically just taking their place in the rankings. But is there anything that you guys want to bring up with the Badgers defense?
Mike, you didn't go about offense.
Oh, all right, my bad. Offense.
Oh, no worries. You know, starting with traveling out west, that was one of the first things I was going to bring up. You get the Joel Stabby vibes at Arizona State, especially after that the safety, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, and then obviously Ches Malusi's first allegedly career fumble, which that was worse than the safety. But again, I'm sure we'll talk about that. But all in all, our offensive line has had better days. Obviously, Jack Nelson had a tough night, which I'm pretty sure that dude's going to go to the NFL. That Ron Stone guy, he's
going to the NFL.
He made Jack Nelson's life a living hell. I don't know if he's ever had a game that poor in his whole Wisconsin career.
Washington State has 2 of those guys. They have 2 sixth-year senior edge rushers.
So he was a 6-year. All right.
Yeah, 2 of them.
But, I came away, like, after watching all the highlights and watching this game again, I am super confident that if we get put in a situation where we might be down 2 touchdowns or a touchdown, Tanner Mordecai can get us through that. Like, that is one thing that I have in comparison to, I hate throwing, past quarterbacks under the bus or anything like that, but I just love Tanner Mordecai's poise, especially if we're going to be down in a game. Like that third quarter, that was all him, man. Like whether it was on the ground or putting the ball in the air, like he led us back. He got us into the position to go and win the game, to get it to 22-24. He made some big time throws. Jake mentioned it before. With those 2 throws, I was 2 to Bryson Green that were just a tad bit over him.
Yeah,
those were big plays that I wish we could have back again.
He had a deep pass to Bryson Green that was also wiped out by an illegal man downfield penalty.
There you go. Yeah,
so
exactly.
Another one that could have been that wasn't.
Yeah. I think Bryson Green's very, very close to having one of those breakout games as well. I love our receiving core still after this game. Like the distribution, you look at it, Will Pauling, 5 catches, DK, 4 catches, Bryson Green, 2 catches, but 2 big ones. Skylar Bell, 5 catches. I mean, Braylon 6 for 11 is what it is. CJ Williams finally got a couple catches too. He got some action. So, like I said, I love our receiving core, and I'm even more convinced that this is the offense that I know we can succeed at this offense. I really think that we are so close, I think, to breaking out. And if we can be as consistent in like that, playing in that third quarter, we're going to be freaking dangerous, man. Like,
I agree with you.
We just got to put it all together. Our rushing offense needs to get their crap together. But in the meantime, I don't know why fans would complain about Tanner Mordecai having as our quarterback. We're not going to get the 5 stars or anything like that. This dude made big time throws and kept us in this game. Like he was poised. Like I said before, he made plays on his feet, through the air. Like I want this guy on my team. I don't know about you. I think he's up there with one of the better quarterbacks in program history in terms of talent and what he can do. I personally think so. So that's not a knock again on anybody else, but
yeah. So you touched on it a little bit already, bringing up the poise. Now we've talked about this with Jordan Love also, and we've shared quotes from both of them, and they are both guys who, when shit's going wrong, that's who the rest of the team looks to get the calm, to be like, all right, we're gonna be okay. It's Jordan Love and Tanner Mordecai are very similar in that aspect of having that just being able to bring center to be like, all right, we're all right. There's no panic. Like it's go time. Like not panicking. I think it was last season, Bryant actually brought it up during our Packers shows. Urgency without panic. And that was a fantastic quote by Bryant last year. So it's a very similar thing with the Badgers. They had some urgency without panicking. They got the game within 2. The game could have been tied, which is what it is, and we can talk about it as we switch to the defense, is the safety call that was not called, and then just basically a few calls that just didn't go the Badgers' way, which were the 3 fumbles, the play to CJ Williams, which is still an offensive play, but the play to CJ Williams in the end zone that was not called a pass interference, even though the guy was chopping down on his arm before the ball was there. And then the offensive pass interference called against the Badgers, which was not what I would say not the best call either. So for neither of those plays to go the Badgers' way, the fumble to not go the Badgers' way, and then for the safety to not be called a safety, which I get that the contact had begun outside the end zone. But when you look at Cam Ward, he was retreating. He was running backwards towards the end zone. That's where for me, it's like that should be a safety because he was retreating on his own. He wasn't being tackled backwards and fell into the end zone and his forward progress stopped him. It's just like if a running back reverses his field or on a punt return, if a guy reverses his field, he doesn't get forward progress if he's running backwards on his own choice. So that to me should have been a safety, but Luke Fickell said it. He didn't sugarcoat it. They had chances to win after that. There were other plays they could have made, but Mike, let's it out to you with the defense.
I mean, from a not so positive standpoint, I think schematically, I would say I think we're still having issues, unfortunately. But we said going into this year, whether that's offense or defense, we might have those schematic issues. I mean, we saw it numerous times. Guys are out of place. When Alexander Smith was all by himself on the one side of the end zone at like the 1 yard line, I think, and Washington State made a quick pass in the end zone. He was all by himself. So, and just like the rotating of guys and everything, just schematically, I thought we would be still a little bit better because we are practicing against spread offenses consistently in practice now. So I was expecting to be a little bit better with that, but with how that defense was performing in the beginning of the game, I was starting to get, oh crap, this is going to be Ohio State all again last year because we just got punched in the face, possession after possession after possession. It felt like, and nothing was going right on that side of the ball. I guess we did get a couple sacks finally. That was great. The safety issue, that was unfortunate. I have the same conclusion as you, Tyler, in regards to that. As a quarterback, when he drops back like that, I think he gives up his initial position, so to speak. So I thought that was why we should have got that safety, but it's Pac-12 refs. So this is what we're dealing with here. I guess the one thing too, like they're not, I noticed this as well as far as the safety room goes. Kamoy, I don't want to call him up, but Kamoy is not getting nearly as many snaps as he used to. He only played 13 snaps in this last game, which is 18. I'm sorry. And they played Preston Zachman. They brought him in for 50 snaps. So there's been a little bit of a rotation at the safety room. So I don't know what's up with that. But other than that, I think two other guys on defense got snaps. It was Petrowski and then, not the D lineman. And then, Jordan Turner. But not too many rotations overall. But we just got to clean up the schematics, I think.
So for me, like honestly, it boils down to two things. One, Washington State's receivers and tight end were getting way too much separation. And then two, the tackling still needs to be better. The pass rush improved, which we kind of touched on a little bit, but for me, it's still tackling and it just needs to be stickier coverage. Those are really my two main things. I did like what I saw on the first drive, where Ricardo Hallman had a tackle for loss on the first set of downs, and then a 3rd and 8 broke up a pass, and you could see him animated. I loved seeing that from Ricardo Hallman. That was one of my things that I was looking for, was to see Ricardo Hallman show some dog. And I feel like I saw that, so I was encouraged by that. Hopefully he continues to build on that and continues showing that attitude a little bit more. Other than that, I mean, I don't know. It's the same guys we talked about last week. Jake Chaney, Hunter Wohler, Jordan Turner, James Thompson getting into the mix this week. Rodus Johnson had a decent game. He's getting better. And I do think the things, Mike, you brought up is growing pains. And for people to expect everything to be perfect after 2 weeks of game action because they've been practicing it, it's not how it works. Like, you have to give these things time to take root. And 2 weeks is not enough time. And to expect that it's just wildly unrealistic. Like we talked about it. There's a lot of optimism here, but there's also expectations of growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what I'll say is I'm going to actually kind of quote Scary Alvarez here a little bit. Definitely a friend of the show. What he said was, this loss changes nothing for the Badgers' goals for this season. And he's absolutely right. The Badgers can still win the Big Ten West. They can still win a Big Ten championship. That hasn't affected either of those things because this was an out-of-conference game. And even if you really want to boil it down to it, let's say the Badgers go 11-1. There's not a 0% chance that they make the playoff if that's something that you expect of the Badgers to be in the conversation for.
If they beat an Ohio State and a Michigan, they're in the fucking playoffs. End of story.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit who the other three are.
Yeah. Not that I'm calling for the Badgers to run the table, but I'm just saying that if that's something that you expect from them, there's a non-zero chance that it could happen at 11-1, especially if they win the Big Ten championship.
Yep. This will be the year to do it. Bama went down. I mean, Georgia hasn't played anybody yet because we haven't really seen them. But I think this is a year
and Florida State are probably, if they run the table, they're definitely in it. Florida State's fucking good too.
Florida State is nuts.
Florida State is good as hell. That quarterback is monster.
Travis.
All right, Jake, what stood out to you on the defense?
So I just want to point something out. Compared to last year and the last 30 years of offense, the spread offense, the air raid offense for the Badgers is much quicker, correct? It's like night and day difference for us.
Mm-hmm.
But there is different variations of everything, right? There's a different variation of a 3-4 defense, different variation of a 4-3, different variation of a 3-3-5, which is what the Badgers run now. What I'm trying to get at is there's different variations of the air raid offense. Washington State's offense is fucking quick.
Yeah.
They throw the ball, they're back on the line in probably 8 to 10 seconds. That is tough to deal with when you're traveling out west, a little jet lag, if you will. That is what I am going to say. A lot of mental errors happen that way because, you know, when they're coming at you, they're not throwing haymakers. They're not throwing one big punch. They're giving you a bunch of these, right? And it's hard to focus when you're just consistently getting punched in the face. So that's kind of where I'm going with my point is I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass. New scheme, out west, again. You could tell that this game was important to Washington State. The crowd was into it. The players were playing with so much passion. I almost wanted to cheer for them a little bit.
The coach was animated as hell too.
The coaches were going nuts on the sideline. If this would have been against another team and I was watching Washington State versus somebody else, I would have 100% been cheering for Washington State. How much it looked like everybody cared, man. They were into it. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a pass this week. I do think that the defense does need some work. I would like a legit lockdown corner. Not saying that we don't have that guy on roster that could just become that, but having a guy that can just shut down one side and then a pass rusher that you know is going to go after the quarterback and the quarterback is watching that guy at all times, that changes everything for a defense. Badgers don't have either of those things this year. Like I said, not saying that they can't get that, but I'm going to give them a pass again. Getting redundant, but just because of the speed of play, new scheme, first real road game, I mean, a lot of factors to kind of put into it, but Badgers only gave up 2.3 yards per rush. That is something to hang your hat on. And we always try to look for positives. 2.3 yards per rush for a team that's kind of coming at you. A couple broken plays, a quarterback that kind of extends some plays. I mean, really not that bad of a performance, in my opinion.
Yeah, a couple of bounces, just a couple of calls, a couple of bounces go the other way. And
how different is this game if they call that safety, right? We tie the game, we get the ball back. How different is this game when they have to respond and they're trying to run a quick offense? When you have to go down, if you're losing and you have to go down, you're not just going to be going click, 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 right? Yeah. And those guys are not used to that. They're used to going click, click, click. Yeah. So that could have changed everything. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. We lost. It is what it is. Let's move on to Georgia State, right?
And Georgia Southern. You brought up a good point on the rushing defense, too, was the 2.3 yards per carry. For them to have a mobile quarterback and to still only have the 2.3 yards a carry, I do think is a good thing to bring up.
That run with Nakia Watson, I think it was Jordan Turner that absolutely clocked him. I think, man, you could hear the pads on
that
TV.
Was when the Badgers had momentum. You can see what this team is going to be when everything is together, right? The defense flying around, multiple, DBs on the field kind of creating havoc for the quarterback, the offense spreading the ball around. If we could just run the ball and consistently get into the other team's backfield, we're going to win a lot of goddamn football games.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of football games to win, Mikey, what are you looking for from the Badgers offense against Georgia Southern on Saturday?
I think we got to find a way to establish a run. I think that's something that we need to. I mean, that is our backbone at the end of the day, right? I think we do need to have somewhat of a rebound with that and get the run game going, get Ches going, get Braylon going, get back up to speed with that. I'm also looking forward to seeing how the O-line rotation, if there is going to be maybe a few more reps for some other guys that haven't necessarily gotten the snaps, like Joe Brunner, like who was it? Trey Wedding. He got some snaps actually last week for Joe Huber. And then maybe, there's Jake Renfro, is his name starting to pop up again. So maybe on this injury report, it sounds like he's still going to be out maybe this weekend yet, but I would look for his name to pop up here relatively soon. Maybe they're just going to save him for the Big Ten, for when they start Big Ten play, which wouldn't surprise me. But offensively, we need to see the run game, I think, get it reestablished again. And just look for other offensive linemen potentially to get some reps. That's what I'm looking for.
Jake, what are you looking for the Badgers offense?
So I hinted at this before, Tyler, you weren't here, but first game, we ran the ball super well. I felt like last week we were more air raid, where we were passing the ball a little bit more. I'm looking for us to establish some balance. These are the building block things that I keep referring to, the growing pains that everybody keeps referring to, that we're going to ask you to remain patient. But if you want to get balance, I think Georgia Southern's kind of your opportunity, right? And by the way, I don't think they're going to have a problem running the ball this week, Mike. That defense is a little light in the ass, man, if you ask me. So they got 4 guys in their front 6 that are lighter than Braylon Allen. If we don't run the goddamn ball down their throats, I'm going to lose my shit on Saturday morning. But I'm looking for them to establish balance, keep being consistent on third downs, get Tanner into a rhythm, get these running backs into a rhythm early. I'm not a big fan of Braylon on the edge over there, because I think he's more of like a forward guy. He's not a side-to-side shifty guy. Not that he can't be. But if we're going to give him the damn ball, give him a screen, let him establish it, let him go forward. I'm not a boundary guy. That's a Malusi play, in my opinion.
Yeah. I like that you brought it up, that balance, and not just going to we need to go back to running the ball 40 times a game.
No.
I'm glad you brought the word balance in. That's a good way to put it. I will say, for me, for the offense, I mentioned this a little bit already. Tanner Mordecai was better on the intermediates. He just still needs to be just a little bit better still.
Mm-hmm.
I do think he's making progress in the right direction from game 1 to game 2, so I'm looking for that to continue in game 3. And the other thing, I have this written in my notes in all caps, is protect the blind side. Georgia Southern, to Jake's point, they don't have a ton of big guys, but they do have 4 forced fumbles and 3 fumble recoveries.
Ooh.
They only have 1 interception, and they've only made 2 sacks, however. So just make your plays and cover the ball and just protect Tanner Mordecai's blind side so he doesn't have to deal with getting hit from a play he can't see coming.
True.
Mikey, what are you looking for from the defense?
Oh, man. First and foremost, get a goddamn turnover any way possible.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a fumble. It can be an interception. I don't care. Please, 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 please get a turnover. We need that. We had one opportunity. I think the one opportunity we had, it was that deflection, I think. It went off of 2 Washington State receivers. I think it was towards the end of the 3rd or early 4th, but that was one opportunity we had. But we need to find a way to get a turnover and get our offense the ball and build some momentum, get off to a fast start. I actually meant to say that in the offense, but because lately in these first 2 games, we slow starts. I think we could all agree on both sides of the ball, but I need to get a turnover. I need to get a turnover any way possible. And I do want to say one more thing. Last week, between CJ Getz and Daryl Peterson, they only combined, they had 3 total pressures, just those 2, the 2 starters, to get to the quarterback. I would love to see one of those 2 guys get a sack or, multiple, whatever it is. I want to see better outside linebacker play in that perspective as well.
So I will say on your subject of those two, Georgia Southern's quarterback is not mobile. He's not a mobile guy like Cam Ward, so I do think that opportunity presents itself a little bit better. It'll just be a matter of seeing if he's going to get the ball out as quickly as Buffalo's quarterback did. Buffalo's quarterback did a very, very good job of getting the ball out of his hands really quickly. But Jake, what are you looking for from the defense?
Just keep creating pressure. I believe that we have to be a little bit more creative with it. Tyler, me and you were watching the game together, kind of in a private stream yard, and kind of just talking ourselves through it, what we were thinking live. We're not ready to live stream a game yet because I'm a psychopath during a football game, but we're working on it. Tyler is much more calm and collected, but we're working on it. But create pressure, man. I don't care if we have to blitz a corner. Why not blitz Hunter Wohler? The guy is a heat-seeking missle, right?
Yes.
Blitz him when you bring him down into the
yes.
box. Blitz him and Njagmeta. Do a weak side blitz with both of them. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of ways, and I don't think that he wants to give too much away in these non-conference games. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like we're going a little vanilla on some defensive plays, but because he's waiting to break some shit out. Tressel's been around the horn a couple times, so he knows what he's doing. But just create pressure. The turnovers will come with the pressure. Pressure equals turnovers.
So for me, from the defense, I need to see better tackling. It's 2 weeks in a row that it's been a problem at all three levels of the defense. For me, the tackling needs to be better. It's not something I hope to improve. It's a need.
Yeah, I agree.
I mentioned the quarterback not being a mobile guy, but Georgia Southern does spread the ball around, including to the tight end. Now, Georgia Southern is a pretty pass-heavy team. They have 88 passes and 59 runs. So I'm going to tie that right into my matchup that I'm watching. And my matchup is the Badgers secondary versus Georgia Southern's pass catchers. They have 3 guys that have over 12 receptions already.
Oh.
So they spread the ball around. So I'm going to be watching the secondary. That is the matchup that I'm watching. Mike, what's a matchup that you're watching?
I'm going to watch Jack Nelson specifically, whoever he's against. We need to have him. He's like our anchor on the offensive line. I'm watching to see how he bounces back this week, because if he puts on another performance like he did last week, you got to start maybe looking, okay, do we need to put in Nolan Rucci to light a fire under his butt, or what are we doing here? So I'm looking to see how Jack Nelson responds. So I'm looking at the left tackle position.
It's a good pick. Jake, what's the matchup you're watching?
So Georgia Southern defense gives up 344 yards, 145 rush yards. Again, they're a little light in the ass. Their 2 outside linebackers weigh 225. They have one that weighs 235. Their 2 inside linebackers both weigh in the 220s. They're small. We're going to run the ball on them. I absolutely have no doubt about that. They only give up 199 passing yards. That's not a lot, to be honest with you. Yeah. In the age of spread it out, let it fly, you know? So on their defense, they have a redshirt junior, Jalen Denton. They have Manny Wingard. They have Darnell Hickman and Seth Robertson. Redshirt junior, 6th year, redshirt senior, redshirt sophomore. These guys have played a ton of games. There is not a goddamn play they haven't seen. Phil Longo, see if you have some tricks up your sleeves. I'm watching the defensive backfield versus our wide receiver group, which we all love. We have a ton of talent there. I want Phil Longo to go crazy, draw some shit up, and let's let it fly a little bit, huh?
All right, I like that. So we're gonna go to keys to the game. Mikey hammered on this already for me. My key to the game is something that Mike hammered on, and my key to the game is the Badgers have to win the turnover battle. Luke Fickell talked about this. That's one of the things that they've wanted, like, as been a goal for the team, is to win the turnover battle. They wanted to win by 2. And they are -5 so far in 2 games. They're -2 and -3 in their first 2 games so far.
Yeah.
So this is another thing, like the tackling. This isn't like I hope to see this get better. This, to me, winning the turnover battle is a have to. It's a must-have.
Great.
So, Mikey, what's your key to the game?
I mean, I would say, let's start there, right? Because, I mean, even going into the fourth quarter, we had 2 turnovers and we had a chance to win. But that third one, absolute backbreaker with the fumble that I still think wasn't a fumble, but here we are. No, we just slowly but surely just, putting both sides of the ball together, putting a complete game together. I mean, you look at last week's special teams, I thought we did a pretty damn good job. Shout out to Nathan Vakos, by the way, too, the kicker. He hit some big-time kicks for us, and he kept us in the game. He honestly probably could have been in that spot with James Thompson for underrated performer, too, if James Thompson didn't have a good game. Because he hit some big-time kicks to somewhat keep us in the game at the time. But special teams had a pretty good day. But no, I'm looking forward to see, can we finally put a complete game together, whether that's win the turnover battle, get a balance off offensively with running and passing, and just, getting out to a faster start too, and just trying to put it all together.
That's a good one.
Against a team like Georgia Southern, which, I mean, quite frankly, they did beat Nebraska at Nebraska last year. If we have some sort of a resume to know more about them. So it's not like they're, freaking, I don't know, like Wisconsin Stout we're playing now, right? But
Alabama
I would
State
say
Technical College.
Yeah, exactly. So just looking forward to seeing how close we can be to putting that complete game together in all phases.
Jake, what's your key to the game?
So when I was taking my notes and I was looking at the turnovers, and I know we had 2 last week, I knew one of you was going to bring up turnovers. I knew it. I knew one of you. So I wanted to go a completely different route. That was the low-hanging fruit. For me, it's win the vertical game. I'm talking about running the ball straight at them with a Braylon Allen. Again, they're small. Run the ball at them. Make them tackle Braylon Allen. Okay? Force that issue. I also want us to throw it deep because Tanner Mordecai has great touch on those deep passes, as you can already tell. Win the vertical game. Stretch this field. I understand the necessity for the jet sweeps and the smoke screens and the dives out. I understand all that stuff. Stretching them horizontally. I want to stretch the field vertically with the run game and the pass game. So win the vertical game. Get pressure on the quarterback. That's how we win.
All right, Mikey. 2 score predictions. One from the head, one from the heart. Give us your head score prediction first.
Head, I think we're gonna score the ball. I really think this is gonna be a bounce back week. I'm going to say 38-20 Badgers.
God, you're so conservative,
score right
bro.
from the Packer game. All right. Jake, what is your score prediction from the head?
Mike, I know you said you think we're going to score. You don't think we're going to score like I think we're going to score. Promise you that. My score prediction from the head is 49-21 Wisconsin Badgers.
Sheesh.
There we go.
We're scoring the ball this week.
I have a pretty decent sized margin of victory, but not quite as many points. I'm going to say 34-14.
Okay.
34-14. Okay.
All right, Mikey, give us your score prediction from the heart, the more optimistic score prediction.
45-17 final. We make a statement. We need to make a statement going into the Big Ten play. We're going to Purdue. We're going to have to score the ball on them. We're all guns blazing. 45-17, and we get 2 turnovers.
I would love that. Jake, what's your score prediction from the heart?
58-20. That's 7 touchdowns and 3 field goals.
Sheesh.
Hey, it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
The balance is coming.
Mike, mine's pretty close to yours. Mine from the heart is 44-13.
Okay.
So the last thing I want to say before we sign off for the night is I listened to Luke Fickell in an interview, and he talked about the Washington State loss, that they can use it maybe as like a humbling experience. So they can use this as a reason to focus less on the destination of where they expect to be at the end of the season, and use it to focus more on the journey of getting to where they want to go. So Jake and I have talked about things like this. So hearing it from Luke Fickell, that's how they're approaching it as a team. I did appreciate that from Luke Fickell, and it really, he said it became like a humbling experience. And I agree with that as well. And Washington State, as we've seen, is no slouch because they are now ranked, but really just Luke Fickell remaining very even keel while also expecting more, I think is the kind of guy that I would want coaching one of my teams, or a team that I'd want to play for. So,
agreed.
Alrighty, we will be back, Jake and myself, on Friday night. We will be with Mike Spofford from Packers.com, and we will be talking about the Packers' Week 1 win over the Bears and their Week 2 matchup against the Falcons. And then we will be back again next Wednesday talking about some more Brewer games and another Badger game. So we will see you guys then.
See you, fellas. Have a good night. Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Anytime.
Later, buddy.
All right.